all about that right hand. There is dynamite in that right hand of Avius Griffin. For Rodriguez, the left hook. That's his best shot. That's what he's going to be looking to land on the chin of Avius Griffin.
Haven't seen one jab thus far yet.
Haven't seen one anything.
You got to start with that jab, though.
That's not a, Griffin going to keep that range, you would think. Rodriguez getting inside. That's what he said I have to do. Get in there and work the body. Avius started boxing at age 8 at 160 amateur fights. Got off to a 4-0 professional career before he was jailed. Later released. Said he was watching the movie Hurricane, the story of Reuben Carter, played by Denzel Washington. That gave him a lot of faith. Allowed him to keep his head up. Now a big opportunity tonight on a major card. Crowd wants action. It was spoiled by Schofield. Antonio, there was a lot of energy from Avius Griffin this week, but you have to wonder if there are some nerves coursing through him right now. This is the biggest stage that he's ever fought on.
Yeah, we always have nerves, and there's a lot of great things happening for this kid right now, with MVP behind him and everything, so he's seen the light, and so now his confidence is through the roof. You can see that in the way he's approaching his fights. He's poised, he feels like the veteran type fighter in there, and he's not overwhelmed, and that's what I like to see from a fighter at this level.
Work it out there, guys. Fight out there. Let's go. Work it out.
Griffin says he's had the first few chapters of his life story written in his head, and the intended ending to the story is winning a world title. If you perform well on a couple of these big cards, people take notice quickly, especially when you're 31 years old.
With that range, I would like to see him using that jab a little bit just to touch his man and then work off of it. And I think that should be his calling card with that type of height and reach.
I think people are expecting, after all the talk during this fight week, to have a little more action in the first round.
10 seconds. Time.
Big 147-pounder. Rodriguez is more of a career-long 140. You can already tell more confidence from Griffin here in round 2. Maybe some nerves there in the first round. I don't care how many pro fights you've had. When you're fighting in front of 500 people in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then all of a sudden you're here in the Honda Center.
That first round we just saw with Schofield, it's not often that we get that. This is most likely that we're going to get strategy, technique, guys trying to open each other up, and they did have a real fill-up round in that first round.
Antonio, does Julian Rodriguez want Avius Griffin to throw more punches so he can counter?
Well, to set off the counter punch, yeah, but he got to make a miss in order to set that counter up. I think he needs to just get in and bang to the body, maybe finish to the top, and he should use his jab as well.
Julian a little gun shy himself, it seems like. I think he's being patient here. He's applying some pretty good pressure on that front foot. He's waiting for opportunities, just like that, sneaking good scoring shots in between the exchanges. Good right hand from Rodriguez. That got the attention of Griffin.
That was a lazy jab Griffin threw out there, easily countered by Rodriguez.
When Griffin keeps that jab holstered that long, he's not doing himself any favors. He's got to keep that in the face of Julian Rodriguez. He can set everything up off that jab. You got to see, Antonio, the discipline of Rodriguez. Kid with 200-plus amateur fights. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a 10-round fight. You want to take him long. You know what I mean? 8, 9, maybe bang into the body. You never know what can happen.
Rodriguez promised
tries to pressure Griffin, try to neutralize the space. Didn't want to let Griffin get comfortable. Rodriguez is at 97 pro rounds compared to just 44 for Griffin. But these are rounds that you would think Rodriguez could be winning relatively easily since Griffin not doing a lot.
Well, maybe in this second round, I think that first round went to the jabber. And I think Rodriguez, supposing this one, that was a good fight.
10 seconds.
Better stop right for Rodriguez.
Griffin didn't like that.
Time.
Is Griffin. The laces are done. Back to action, round 3. Scheduled for 10. Welterweight division.
Good jab by Rodriguez.
Not a lot of force behind the jabs of Griffin. He's kind of flicking it out there, kind of rangefinder, not trying to use it so much as a scoring punch. With Rodriguez, he is trying to use it as a scoring shot.
If someone can counter your jab, that's so defeating, because that's your first punch. And if you throw it out there and somebody tag you back, that's like your antenna goes up, man. Like, you can get shell shock from that.
Especially when your corner, Bomac saying, pepper with jabs, keep them throwing. You're thinking, wait, if I do that, I'm going to get caught.
Exactly.
So what do you do?
Well, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep going with the game plan. Don't turn away from the game plan. And that takes commitment.
And maybe a chin, because you're going to have to absorb some shots from Rodriguez.
Good shot by Griffin. Jumped in with a combination. He has to get a little bit more flow on his punches there, both hands.
These two guys were jabber-jawing at the press conference a couple days ago, and it was Jake Paul who jumped in saying, look, I don't even know who you are, Julian Rodriguez. To which Rodriguez said, listen, hey, Griffin, don't let Mr. TikTok blow up your head. I've got dog in me. And this is not a social media show, it's a fight. Good left, and that wasn't handled well by Griffin.
He caught Griffin with his hands down in that exchange, and I think he hurt him there.
And Griffin gonna have to get that chin down, man. That's something he's gonna have to learn how to do.
He's never been in trouble like this. It's been easy work for Griffin. 17-0 with 16 KOs.
Now, Rodriguez feeling this temper momentum change. He got a press right now.
Yeah, a lot of the footage I've watched of Baby is Griffin, and there's not a lot out there up until this point. He hasn't faced a lot of guys, or any guys really, that are throwing a lot back. He's faced guys that have some skill sets, but not throwing the kind of shots that Julian Rodriguez is.
And we don't know if you're a good boxer until you've been able to take a shot and fire.
Get him up, let's go, get his hands up. Work it out there. Work his hands, let's go. Let's go. Stop.
We saw earlier in the prelims, Joel Iriarte fighting Kevin Johnson. Iriarte won that fight, but Kevin Johnson pushed him late. That was the first time Iriarte had to go the distance, so similar storyline perhaps here for Griffin.
I think in that fight, Joel Iriarte wasn't really in danger of losing. I think Julian Rodriguez is going to do more than just go the distance.
Seconds.
He's learning about himself as we are right. He's never had to face this kind of opposition.
Time.
Populated. When you're a Fabius Griffin appears to be a very difficult fight. Won his first 21 straight pro fights, 11 inside of 2 rounds, spread over 8 years. And had some problems with a shoulder injury. Now he's at 32-1. At 30 years old, plenty of gas left in the tank, according to him. Feels like he's just getting started. Doing it for his family. Gotta feed the kids, Antonio.
Most definitely. Looks like Griffin getting a little bit more aggressive right now. He's trying to take more chances. Closing the gap a little bit.
Well, I like the adjustment trying to throw that rear uppercut. He's trying to get underneath to get that high guard of Julian Rodriguez.
There it goes again, that counter jab. Rodriguez scored clean with his right hand. And what Griffin needs to do now is double up that jab, triple up that jab.
It's Chattanooga, Tennessee versus Osbrook Heights, New Jersey. Good body work from Griffin.
Rodriguez just seems to be kind of one step ahead of Avius Griffin. He knows what he's going to do before he does it. He's anticipating that chopping right hand from Griffin and ducking down underneath it every single time. It kind of reminds me a little bit about Joseph Parker fought Deontay Wilder. Ducked under that right hand before Wilder could ever throw it.
Lots of feints. If you like feints, you love this one.
But there's so many other chances he could be popping that jab just to throw something in Rodriguez's face like that. Keep that going.
Oh, big right hand from Griffin to buckle the legs of Rodriguez, who's trying to hold on.
And both those guys threw big shots in that exchange. Griffin got the best of it.
I think Griffin needs to be digging to the body right now. Look like he's doing a little hair hunting.
Caught him again.
There you go.
Let's see if Rodriguez can handle this moment of adversity. Rodriguez seeing some opportunities as well.
10 seconds.
But you know Griffin's going to take that confidence boost back to his corner that he
Time.
He's been calling for a jab pretty consistently since the end of the first round.
Oh, good combination by Rodriguez.
All right, Chris Mannix, you're scoring the fight tonight, obviously unofficially. How do you have it?
Yeah, I've got 3 rounds to 1 in favor of Julian Rodriguez. Gave Griffin that 4th round on the back of that right hand, his best shot of the night. But up until this point, it feels like Rodriguez has been controlling it. He's been the ring general in there and landing the cleaner shots. So 3 rounds to 1 in favor of Julian Rodriguez.
Take the hair up, Antonio. Wardrobe malfunction, correct?
We should have. He's real high on that back foot. I don't know if he has everything he's going to need.
All right, here we go.
From Griffin. It's the dry stance.
Griffin's dream growing up was to play professional football, but he got too many fights. He set up football practice and said, you know what, might as well do it for a living. Switch to boxing.
Good body work there from Rodriguez. He's winning these exchanges.
Oh, nice left hand on the inside from Rodriguez.
Yeah, it looks like Rodriguez putting that pressure on Griffin right now and it's paying off. Griffin going to have to show some separation from Rodriguez in these next couple rounds.
Very disciplined work rate from Rodriguez. Not throwing a lot, but landing at a pretty good clip.
I point out with Rodriguez, that loss he had to Pedraza back in 2021, that was before Pedraza was really kind of washed. He still had something left in the tank.
He was in the shower, but he wasn't washed.
He had something left in the tank going into that fight. So, not as bad a loss as it might look like right now. Just a good game plan from Rodriguez, good execution.
Yeah, Rodriguez once a highly touted prospect signed to Top Rank, was managed by James Prince. Just hasn't really had the career he had hoped. But you win here tonight, and on you go.
10 seconds.
Nice left hook by Rodriguez in close.
Yeah, he's winning the exchanges.
Another right hand by Rodriguez. Looks like he's called a bust slip or something. Seeing some blood.
Time.
But
with every one that Avius Griffin has landed.
Well, we're at the halfway point of this one. Chris Mannix has Rodriguez ahead. Griffin's got to do something different, Antonio. What?
I think he needs change something that he's doing on that front hand. He's been missing his right hand all night. He's going to have to get explosive to land something solid. I don't know if Rodriguez is going to be there for it.
Yeah, Antonio, the footwork of Griffin's kind of all over the place today. Like you see with Rodriguez, kind of disciplined feet, great amateur feet. Griffin, he just tends to get off balance when he throws punches.
You're absolutely right, and a lot of that comes from leverage, you know. He's like pushing on that backhand instead of dropping it. He's not turning his body with it. That's what I'm seeing.
Womack showing some frustration in the corner, and Avius Griffin said, listen, you're letting him dictate the pace. He's pressuring you. We got to be on the front foot.
Yeah, when you stand in front of a guy like this and don't do anything, you got to either be breaking or punching. And he's not doing either.
Like, this is the range Griffin wants to be at, right
Exactly.
here. He can hit Rodriguez, but Rodriguez can't hit him.
But again, you see that jab is not really controlled or effective. He got to be able to put some power behind that jab to move Rodriguez. There you go. He got a little closer there.
Yeah. Land your punches and get out of danger. No sense in staying on the inside with a guy that can crack like that. And he got him again, did Rodriguez.
Two good left hooks for Julian Rodriguez.
And what Rodriguez seemed to be doing every time Griffin starts something, he finished it. He finishes his combination.
And the left hook set at the top, that's the money shot for Julian Rodriguez. That's the one he's going to be looking for.
Good job.
Rodriguez is saying, hey, Jake Paul, you know my name now.
Exactly.
I'm about to beat your newest signee if I keep this going. So far, so good for Julian Rodriguez. But again, Avius Griffin has that eraser type of power.
We haven't seen much of it tonight. I would love for him to start landing. There he goes again. Too short with that right hand. Just his timing has to be good.
And he just can't find the range on that chopping shot. It's just it hasn't been there for a moment.
Rodriguez's face hasn't changed. His facial expression hasn't changed at all tonight. That shows a guy that's locked in and focused on the job at hand.
Done fucking.
Overhand left that time for Rodriguez as Griffin tried to bully him.
Side.
Bit of shape. And I would think that if you're Griffin's corner and you're talking to Griffin between these rounds, you got to tell him, hey, we got to start taking a couple of chances here. I mean, we know we're down on the scorecard at this point. We got to start letting our hands go.
Most definitely.
Well, that's what he promised to do. He said, I'm going to knock this guy out and we'll make it look good too.
I don't think he's been able to get in Rodriguez's rhythm. I mean, because if he did, he would be landing more shots. And I don't know how slippery or slick Rodriguez is in that way. You never know until you're in front of him.
Power shots through 6 rounds. Griffin, 25 landed compared to 41 for Rodriguez. Similar output as well. So Rodriguez landed more. Is this the fight you thought we'd see, Chris? Those guys left again from Rodriguez. Griffin seemed to eat that one well.
The truth is, Todd, I had no idea what kind of fight we were going to see because I had no idea what kind of fighter Avius Griffin was. You see these guys with these incredible records, but when they step up against an opponent like Julian Rodriguez, who is not a world championship level guy, he's on that next level, but he's a credible guy, and we're kind of seeing a little bit of exposure with Avius Griffin in this fight tonight.
You're right. And a lot of times, these boxers, they don't get the lessons they think they're not getting the lessons they need. A lot of times they don't know what they're missing.
Again, as soon as Julian Rodriguez is credit, his version of trash talk all week long was telling Avius Griffin that you're effectively manufactured. You are not on the level that I'm on. You've not faced the kind of opponents that I faced in my
Good right hand here from Griffin, who's having his best round, maybe of the night so far here in the 7th.
If you really want to find out what a fighter is made of, put him in there with a real fighter. Then you'll know.
Griffin doing well if he's throwing punches moving forward. When he gets stationary or gets forced onto his back foot, that's when Rodriguez takes over.
If I was Griffin, I would throw a jab to the body and bring that left hook right back up.
10 seconds.
Trying to land that right hand.
10 seconds, fighter. Stop the bell.
Time.
Stepping to him, throwing punches right away. Exactly what Bomac was calling for.
Well, Chris, how do you have it scored through 7?
I've got 68-65 in favor of Julian Rodriguez. I thought Griffin might have stolen that last round with the lack of output from Rodriguez, but by and large, this fight has been controlled by Julian Rodriguez. 68-65 on my scorecard.
Good counter left, but this is the fight that the crowd has been wanting. Tit for tat.
I think Griffin
Oh, he dropped it. And that could be
He's
a real
down.
against Griffin.
it was hurt too. Rodriguez still is on clear streak.
And that is the shot that Avius Griffin has been looking for all night. That chopping right hand that he has not been able to land. Hasn't been able to find the distance. He found it with that shot.
But it's the hook. It's the hook that's landing effective right now.
Big left for Rodriguez, who's in trouble of going down again. He's being forced to fight, and that's what Griffin's corner is telling him to do.
Rodriguez gonna have to be very careful because I believe Griffin is sneaking that right hand in there.
It's hard to do when you're hurt, Antonio, but somehow Rodriguez has to push Griffin back.
He does. Right now, I'll be locked in on my defense right now and let Griffin spin himself a little bit. But you can't afford to let him get an effective punch off right now.
Griffin needed a magic moment, and he got it here in the 8th with that knockdown.
Rodriguez still throwing.
Yeah, Griffin's letting his hands go, but Rodriguez remains dangerous in these exchanges.
Griffin's showing a lot of heart. A lot of heart in this fight tonight.
Yeah, we talked about learning a little bit about yourself in a fight like this. Griffin's learning that, hey, I can be behind and come back. My power is there late when I need it. But look at Rodriguez saying, you know what? I'm going to have to go to the depths as well.
And Griffin has proven against relatively limited opposition that his power does carry. Last fight, he picked up a stoppage in the 8th round.
He's standing a little bit tall for me when Rodriguez is close because that's why Rodriguez is being able to counter him with everything that he starts. He's standing a little bit too tall. He may need to pick aside instead of standing straight in front of the guy.
Half minute to go here in the 8th.
Both guys exchanging. Too many misses right there. There's too many misses. He had an opportunity to really land some effective shots there.
10 seconds.
He's headhunting a little too much, perhaps used the work to the body when he's got him in the corner.
Time.
Changing.
Gonna hold it.
Deep for
You put through to get here tonight.
Julian Rodriguez, 32-1, believes this will be the fight to get his career back on track. Avius Griffin, 17-0 with 16 knockouts. Big stage for the first time. Knows what's on the line for him.
Big round here for Rodriguez. That was a good momentum builder for Avius Griffin. This fight's still very much in play when it comes to a decision.
Yeah, you know, you think about one of these two fighters can win the last 2 rounds, they probably win the fight. Whoever that may be.
Someone can get another knockdown. unnecessarily.
Very active round for both fighters. Griffin, 41 power shots thrown, 22 for Rodriguez. Minute 10 into this round, no one's landed a punch of consequence. And now Rodriguez missed one down. Who's on board? Who's on Avius Griffin? Is he about to go down?
They both was exchanging, and Rodriguez got the better of it.
And Rodriguez kind of pulled his punches there. He didn't want to get hit with a counter shot, didn't rush in too recklessly, landed two good shots, knew he hurt his man, and stepped back up.
And he still has his man hurt.
Yeah, he knows what he's got in front of him now.
This is one of those fights when it's boring, but when it's not, it's not. Spurts of incredible action between these two.
Can't say enough about both of these guys digging and showing the heart that they're showing tonight.
How did Griffin not go down? So a big chin here, big heart. That's why they call him the underdog. After what I've been through, everybody counted me out, but here I am.
He's loading up with that right hand. He better not get counted. Because I can see him loading up with it. Good body shot.
Blood pouring out of the nose of Master Griffin.
Looked like Griffin was trying to start some tempo then, but then he just pulled back.
Great matchmaking, by the way.
Oh yeah, all night long, the card is filled.
This is the exact type of fight that both of these guys needed.
10 seconds.
That round is going to belong to Julian Rodriguez. Griffin trying to make it interesting last couple of
Time.
Like that.
Gotta have this round, saying you're in shape, you can do it. Dig deep. 3 minutes to go. Chris Mannix, how do you have it?
I've got it. Julian Rodriguez in front, 86 to 84. Clear round win for me in that ninth round. That 10-8 in the eighth closed the gap for Avius Griffin, but I think he's going to have to do something special to win this round and win this fight.
Neither fighter coming out trying to grab this round by the scruff of the neck.
I think Rodriguez knows he could be ahead, and Griffin needs to push this fight. There's the left hand. First left hand we see him play, that hook.
You'd hate to lose this fight by a round and look back and say, man, why didn't I do more than 10?
Let's go. Stop. You can't be holding it in, okay? All right, let's go. Fight.
Is Avius Griffin's about to go? Of course, Chris Mannix is unofficial. The judges may have it different. Probably will.
That felt like a dig, Todd.
Well, because they don't know what they're doing, right?
Good uppercut there from Griffin.
Yeah, it just seems like Rodriguez has found a counterpunch for Griffin, and every time he throws it, he has an answer.
You know, Rodriguez can't exactly coast here either. I mean, this is boxing. You can't think you got it won. This round's still up for grabs with a minute to go. Nice flurry there for Rodriguez. When he gets inside, he's so dangerous.
Well, that's the story of the night. Griffin been missing with his big punches, and Rodriguez has not.